In there. Good.
All right. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the workshop. Tonight we are going to be doing a little live forging demonstration. I'm going to talk a little bit about it while everybody's coming in and getting set up. We're going to be doing a live forging demonstration on making a pair of scrolling tongs. So I hope everybody's going to sit back, relax, and enjoy. And at some point during this, we are going to take and give away this pair of wolf jaw tongs that I made in the previous live stream. Oh, any watchers yet?
Yeah, 11.
Woohoo!
16 actually. Yeah, everybody's just kind of saying hi and
okay.
They're here on time.
Well, hello everyone. I'm glad you're here on time and ready for yet another live forging demonstration from Roy here, where I'm going to talk a whole lot and we're going to have a lot of fun, hopefully. So everybody may have seen my previous video. Hopefully you have. Hopefully Jessica will read comments as they come in there instead of looking at her phone.
It's putting it on mute.
There we go. So, anyways, so I already did this pair of tongs, scrolling tongs, in another video, and I did kind of a step-by-step kind of how-to type deal. Well, tonight I'm going to just do a little recap, give you guys a chance to take and comment, ask questions, if you need to, about this particular style of making tongs. I find it very easy. One question I get a lot is, why do you draw out the reins first? The simple equation to that is it avoids you having to hold a weird piece and forge out the reins after you've got the jaw forged out. If you already have this on a long piece of bar stock, forge out your reins, cut it off, then all you have to do is worry about the nibs themselves at the end in that little boss area. And for me, that's the easiest part, where the drawing out is the longest, most arduous part of the journey. So that's why I prefer making my reins first and then leaving the boss and the jaw for later on. So a lot of you guys probably remember these from the other live stream. Like I said, we'll be giving those away at some point this evening. I'll hand these over to Jess.
All right, got them.
Get behind this thing. So, what are people saying, Jess?
All right, they're saying hi. Paul's here. Paul's Garage. He says happy belated birthday.
Hey, thank you. Oh yes, thank you everyone for the belated birthday. All the happy birthdays and everything like that. I just popped on there for just a fun minute. You can rotate.
All right.
Yeah, I popped on those for just real fun, for a real fun minute. So, can you point that way a little bit more?
Sure.
I think that's a little better.
Okay.
Am I centered in the shot there?
There you go, yeah.
Okay, good.
John.
Yep, I ate way too much cake. That was bad.
And then after that, he had pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I kind of went fat boy mode on that. So.
Yes, we do have a Facebook page. Look for us on Facebook. It's just under Christ-Centered Ironworks.
Yep. So how's the feed coming in? Has everybody got a good clear picture, good quality sound? Hopefully everybody's got good picture and good sound out there. And can you hear Jessica at the same time?
Yeah, they probably hear me too loud. Jackson says yes. Jackson Graham.
Hey, good to have you here, Jackson.
Yep.
All my favorites are coming in, right?
Uh-huh.
Alright. Read away.
Alright, Thomas Urso says, I bought the power hammer and forge plans.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I hope those will help you out.
Flannery Film says, are you from Ohio? Yes, we are. Yep. We live near Dayton.
Yep, we live here currently.
Mike from Sarah and Mike, they says, I'll remember you in my prayers for your wisdom teeth.
Why, thank you. Yes, that's tomorrow at 8:45 in the morning. I'm having all 4 of these bad boys yanked. So, not excited about that at all. Not excited, so prayers are much appreciated.
Travis Lloyd, he says, when is the update on the new power hammer?
The new update video will hopefully be coming out sometime Monday. Monday morning should be the new power hammer update video. So far I got all the guts, what I call the guts of the power hammer, what turn your rotational motion into your, I don't know what you call it, linear motion. I've got all those parts, the cam, the bearings, the cam assembly, all those sort of things pretty much prepped and ready to be assembled and put on the hammer. And then after that, then comes the easy part, which is pretty much mounting the motor, putting belts on, and the treadle. As far as the plans, it's probably going to take me a couple weeks yet to get those together, as I got to hand draw each one and go over all the measurements and make sure I got everything correct. That way I'm not putting out and proofread it a couple times before I release that. But trust me, you all will be the first to know. And most likely I will do a live event before I release a grand unveiling, if you will. So stay tuned for that. All right. Well, we're good and hot. So the first part, before we go over to the anvil, the first part we're going to work on is obviously we're going to work on tapering out our jaw. And then we will clean up the transition of the boss area after that. So let's go over the anvil now. Ready?
Yep.
Alright, we'll remove this other one off here. Go to town. Gotta find my mark. This is 1 inch in from the end, or 25 mil. And all we're going to do is draw this out into an asymmetrical taper. Can everybody see that okay?
Yeah, they asked for a little bit closer, so seeing what I can do about it.
Can you see that there? All right. So this is what we got here. So as you can see, it's an asymmetrical taper, so it points towards the center of the jaw. There is a reason for that. If you made this perfectly symmetrical, the taper, you would have a gap back in here. And the jaws wouldn't line up completely like they are now. So that's the reason for that. So we'll go ahead and take up another heat.
Alrighty. Just everybody turned around over this way. There we go. Roy's in the center.
Back at Roy's face.
Alright, let's see what.
Alright, give me some questions.
Alright. Let's see here. Bodie, he says, "What's up, Roy? How was your day?"
It was busy, Bodie. So I've been trying to busy my mind, not think about my teeth all day. So I shot 4 videos today, 4 different videos. So that was good. Took a bunch of packages in, got them shipped. Spent the first half of the day polishing bowls. And yeah, real busy day.
Thomas Urso, he says, "What is the best hammer weight?"
The best hammer weight. Well, my favorite hammer right now currently in my shop is my 1 3/4 pound hammer that I made in class with Tom Latney. So I say 2 pounds is a good overall hammer weight for anyone. I know there's a lot of guys that like the real big heavy hammers, but it hasn't caught up to their joints yet. And so I'll stand firm on that one for as long as I live. But more power to you if you like a heavy hammer.
Travis Lloyd, he says, "Do you have an opinion or suggestions for shop setup, forge to anvil relationship, etc.?"
Yes, I do. So the forge to anvil relationship, you want the forge as close as you can to the anvil. Usually, if you're working on smaller work, if you are working in a larger shop where you're doing more large-scale pieces or railings, that's not as handy as you may think. You need good clear distances around all the pieces of material that you're going to be working with. So in my personal opinion, I like to have kind of a triangle, a smithing triangle if you can. In my shop, I'm not completely able to do that, but everything's pretty much within, I'd say, 5 or 10 steps. So it works out. We ready to go?
Yep. Let me turn you. Okay.
Alrighty. Okie doke. So we're just going to continue to refine this taper right on down, nice and square. Get it all squared up. And once it's all squared up, we're going to come in here and we're going to knock off the corners. I'm just doing a real quick check. And if you notice here, these aren't the same length. You want to stop before you go to the rounding up section of this, because that's going to grow that length quite a bit once you start rounding it all up. So just keep that in mind.
Alright.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Checking who that is.
Yes. So we're going to check.
Alright. Jessica's got to go check on, somebody just showed up, so she's going to go check on that real quick. And then, yeah, so I'm going to sit here and talk to you for a minute. I tell you what, I'm going to come around and swing around and see what you guys are saying. Ay, ay, ay. There you all are. Sorry about that. Can you all see me? Let's see here. What's everybody said? Should anvils be anchored in one spot or able to move around? Mine's 465 pounds, so it pretty much stays anchored in one spot. I like to slide them around. If you want to anchor them down, that's an extra nice thing, but they have to be anchored to the stand that they're going on, otherwise you kind of defeat the purpose on that. So, let's see here. I buy 2 and 5 since I'm sitting in an iPower chair. Yeah, 2.5. That's a nice one, easy one to swing there. 16 foot in the shop, because that's. How much of my shop would fit in your shop? Well, this is only a 12 by 20 building, so 12 by 20 building, that's as much as you get there. Do I temper after an oil quench? Yes, I usually do. I just do it by the old method where you look at the temper colors run, and I did a video on tempering a chisel where I went over that pretty in detail there, Mark S. I've seen guys temper tools in toaster ovens. A lot of guys do that for knives, so I imagine that'll work perfect as well for tempering. Let's see here. All right. So we got 52 people. Hey, Jackson Kettler, good to have you here, buddy. So it looks like we have 50 people here, 17 likes. I'm glad you all are here. Bunch of people jumping off. Now we're down to 49, 48. Oh. Yeah, pull out a tape measure. That's the way to do it. So. Yeah, 12 by 20 works pretty good. It's nice to have a larger shop if you can. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So, all right, I'm going to swing your rack around here. Jessica's going to show you back to the fire there.
All right, how do I switch the camera? Just this button down here?
You tap the camera turnaround button.
Okay, there we
big
go.
Dirty thumb. Okay, we're up to the temp. So now we're going to go ahead and knock the corners off.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep, got it.
So now we're going to go ahead and go over to the anvil. We're going to knock the corners off, and it should, by the time we round it up, it should come out to the same length as the other jaw. If it does not, whichever one's longer, you can always grind it back and clean it up a little bit. It's really not that big of a deal if you stretch it a little long. You know, they're not meant to be perfect. So, all right, come around. So just like you round any material off, you're going to turn it up on the diagonal to the corners. And we're going to focus right here at the hinge joint the most to start with. And then we're going to work forward to that taper, to the end of the jaw. Going back to the hammer size thing, a preference on hammer size or thought process on there. If you start swinging a hammer for 12 hours a day or 16 hours a day like I have done in the past, you will ditch real heavy hammers real quick. It's just not possible to keep them going all day long. So there we go. Got those just about right. Just about the right length. This one here could get tapered just a little more. And I got a few crinkles on here I got to knock off. So we'll go ahead and planish that out a little bit better. At this heat, you're not trying to do anything but planish. So don't go getting carried away and trying to really wail on this. You're just trying to planish this off to make a nice smooth jaw. And there we go. Hopefully everybody can see this. So that's what we come up with. Now the next step in this process is if you see this center punch mark here, this was marked in 2 inches from the end, or 50 millimeter, if I'm correct, for all you guys out there in the UK. We're going to drive that bit of mass down and create this boss area next.
On the topic of hammer weights, Thomas Urso also asked, what is the best power hammer weight?
Best power hammer weight. That's a good debate. Getting started right there. Some would argue the biggest hammer you can get. I would say bigger hammers, they're going to cost you more money and upkeep. Whenever something breaks down, everything's twice as big. There's more logistics in a larger hammer, like deeper concrete blocks, foundations, and things like that, versus lighter weight hammers. Then again, at the same juncture, you go too lightweight of a hammer, and here you are thinking you can forge something 4 inches underneath it with a 20-pound hammer. It's not going to happen. If you max out a hammer, you're going to break things more readily with it. So I would say for most people, a 50-pound hammer is about what anybody would ever need. A 50-pound ram weight hammer, via that being a mechanical hammer, a nozzle, a self-contained air hammer, a utility air hammer. Any of those would work at that rate for both the hobbyist and more of the professional variety smith. It's just a good all-over-round hammer.
He says that he has a 10 handy. Is that good?
A 10 handy. I haven't ever heard of it. Never heard the term 10 handy before.
Mike and Sarah says, do you still have your sledgehammer treadle hammer you made?
Yes, I do. It's actually sitting in my shed. A lot of the stuff that I build to help other people out, so I spend the money into it, and then right now it's just sitting in my shed. I haven't really figured out what I want to do with them yet. If I'm going to take parts off of different pieces and things that I've created in the past. The revisited Da Vinci cam hammer, I gave that one to my brother, so that's what happened to that one. And that was a while ago that I gave it to him. I Indian borrowed it back so I could get plans made up for people. That's probably derogatory towards Indians. That's a term that I've used since childhood. I don't know if anybody's ever heard that term, Indian giving, but I don't know if that's derogatory or not. It probably is. Probably should stop saying that in public spaces.
By the way, Thomas said it was a 10-pound hammer, is what he had meant.
Oh, a 10-pound hammer. It's a 10-pound mechanical hammer, I'm assuming. If it's a 10-pound hammer, oh, if you're talking about, I think you said you built one of my designs, or you bought one of my designs. 10 pounds is plenty enough for the power hammer. It's all about swinging that hammer at a good rate of speed and getting the whip out of it. That's the problem. Most people don't get the whip. What else?
Oh, Rick says, can I be your brother?
Well, you're my blacksmithing brother. How's that sound? Oh, all right, let's turn the camera. Ready to go. Here. All right, so here we go. Might want to scoot that back a little, hun, the tripod.
Okay.
Move the tripod back there.
All right.
All right. So we're going to use half on, half off blows and set that material down. And then all we're going to do is work that back into the hammer, into the handle itself, the tong handle itself. That nice and straightened back out. Now at this point, like I mentioned in the video, you can knock the square corners off or you can leave them like this. If you're doing both halves, leave both halves with the square corners. It does not affect the operation of the tongs. But since I've already rounded this off, I'm going to round these off as well. So I'll take another heat and we'll do that. Back before I do that, I'm going to cool these down.
Mike said that if you let him know if you need any CAD drawing help, he might be able to help.
Okay, cool.
That's what he does for a living.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for that offer.
John...
I just may take you up on that.
John Colley says, can you explain a half-on, half-off hammer blow for noobs?
Okay. For new guys out there that don't know what a half-on, half-off hammer blow is. Okay, so picture this is the edge of the anvil here. Yours may be more radius than this or sharper than this, but this is the edge of your anvil. This is the top of your anvil. This is the face of the anvil or the front of your anvil. A half-on, half-off blow is when your hammer intersects right there on half on the anvil and half off the anvil. Just like that. Dividing it mostly in half. That's a half on, half off blow. I did a whole series on that on basic techniques, or the fundamental techniques of blacksmithing, and in that I went over all the 5 different basic hammer blows. I just did 10, but it's 5. It's 5 basic hammer blows. So. What other questions?
Corey Shire says, Roy, I'd love to come to your shop and take one-on-one lessons with you.
Well, I would like that too. Unfortunately, right now, I'm quite the busy guy, and where I'm living at right now, I rent my home and shop space all off the same guy. My landlord, he is an excellent dude. He is really super nice, but I have to, watch the amount of people I have out and things like that here individually. Now, I do have some classes coming up. I will make sure I make an announcement on that at SOFA, the blacksmithing club I'm a part of. I will be teaching some classes there this year. One of those will be a gas forge burner workshop, a forced air gas forge burner workshop. And then the other one, I haven't fully come up what it is. It'll be in November, I think it is. Mm-hmm. It'll be in the month of November. And it will be centered around Christmas gifts.
Yep.
So, like I said, I'll make sure everybody knows about it. when I teach those classes. What else?
Manga12, he says, you rent. I thought you owned that house out in the country.
No, I wish I did, but nope, I rent. So, one day we may own something. All right, we're good and hot. Let's take it over the anvil.
Let's go.
All right. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, first and foremost, we're going to knock off this front corner. And just really round it off. So keep tilting the hammer and hammering back into the anvil. And then we're going to dress out whatever side swell we got. So you can see it like that. And then the next part, we're going to go ahead and stand it up on end and hammer right down here at the crook of this boss area and slowly tilt this thing. And then that's how we round it up. Just like so.
Can we get a little bit of a close-up?
Yep, we'll get a little close-up here for y'all. Grab the other one too. So there you go. There's the completed half. And so you can see how those go together now. Mm-hmm. Just like so. All right. Well, I'm going to let this cool a little bit. I decided to save some time tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and just drill the hole in this. That way I can get everything nice and accurate, because I'm going to be demonstrating making your own rivet with the rivet tools I made in my videos this week. So I'm going to show you how you can make your own factory looking rivet, but with just a piece of 3/8 inch round mild steel. So while this cools down, I think now would be a good time for all those who are watching to go ahead and do our Tong giveaway.
Yeah.
What do you all think? You think that's a good idea?
Yep, they're saying yes. I think they're ready to see who's gonna win.
All right, let's flip the camera back around.
Okay.
Dude. Sorry, guys. Dude. Hitting again. There we are. Whoa, take you for a ride. There we go. We're at a nothing shot there.
All right, you got the tongs?
Sorry, it's nighttime here in Ohio, so the lights are kind of bright and stuff. But, all right. So the giveaway we're doing is the tongs from the last live demonstration. These are the wolf jaw tongs we made. They hold 3/8 this way and that way. They hold 1/2 inch this way and that way. And then they hold 5/8 this way and then that way. So I'm sure most of our lovely subscribers that are here know that.
Probably there for that too.
Yeah, so I'm going to let Jessica draw the names.
All right.
The name. All right, let's see what we got here.
Jackson Graham.
Jackson Graham. You are the lucky recipient of the Wolf Jaw Tongs. Congratulations.
Yep.
You have 48 hours to take and contact us.
And then it'd be funny if we didn't tell them how to get a hold of us. You can either get a hold of us on our Facebook page, or just search Christ-Centered Ironworks, or you can also go to our website, blacksmithpdfs.com, and in the right-hand corner you'll see the contact button.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be shipping these out to you shortly if you do everything she just said. I totally blanked her out.
That's all right.
Totally blanked her out. Oh. Yeah, I guess you'll have to make your own. Oh, or wait around for other, Tong demonstrations that we may give away.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I'll be telling you all the secret password that you need to comment on the replay to win these beauties here. To win these scrolling tongs in our next live stream that we do. So, anybody who felt left out of that one, there will be some scrolling tongs available in our next live stream for someone to take and win. But I'm going to make sure everybody stays around a little bit before I release this carefully. One. You know, looks like we already had a whole bunch of people bail. Apparently people got upset they didn't win. But for those that are sticking around, we'll tell you the secret word to use to win yourself these on the playback. So hopefully that'll make up for it. Thank you everyone, by the way, that went and watched the video again and, you know, did your names. And, you know, thank you for everyone who showed up and was watching this whole thing. So we really appreciate that. All right, Jackson, that sounds like a good idea. You definitely don't want to miss the rest of this live stream. So everybody stay around if you can. Good. Oh. All right. Well, that was a little anticlimactic, wasn't it?
It was.
That piece isn't cool enough yet, so this is a little shorter. Let's see here. Let's announce what our video is that's coming up tonight.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, can you grab the piece?
Yep, I can grab that.
So I've got a video coming up tonight. It's kind of like a culmination piece of all the rivet stuff that I've done. And it'll be after this live stream. But I made this wall cross here and did a little how-to on it. And hopefully provided links and all that business in the description where you guys can get these kind of blanks cut out and then add these to your repertoire so you guys can make those for yourselves to try to sell in your own home forges and come up with your own stylings and designs. So hopefully everybody will like that. But that'll be after this live stream, whenever we conclude this live stream. And of course everybody watches it just enough to leave a comment of what the secret password is for putting your names in the drawing for the scrolling tongs. And then, yeah, definitely check that video out if you get the chance to. But all right, who's ready to see me actually get back to work? Oh, I'm going to get off camera. Jessica's going to talk to you for a minute, and I'm going to go drill this hole.
Okay. Is it cool enough for that?
Yep.
Okay. So, does anybody have any questions for me? I know you guys mostly all watch Roy's blacksmithing videos, but...
You can tell she's totally not a public speaker.
I'm not. I'll give it a go. How often do I forge? Like every other year, once. Actually, when Roy did the demo for the young men at a couple of weeks ago the week before Quad State, I actually tried forging a leaf. It was really ugly, but I gave it a try. So I've only forged a few things ever, but yep. He works harder for the business. We each kind of have our own part. You know, I do all the stuff on the computer. I do the job list. I do the listings, answer emails, try to get some of the stuff ready for the videos and do research and things like that. So. Yeah, he does all the forging. I mean, he sweats way more than I do, so I guess if you're counting it in sweat equity, then it'd definitely be Roy who's doing the larger amount of work for the business. What kind of cigars do we smoke? I'm afraid we don't smoke any.
Never have.
How do I put up with Roy? One day at a time, I guess.
Y'all trying to get her in trouble.
I know.
Nah, she wouldn't be that in trouble. So, go make sure these fit. Here.
Am I the expert on the video editing? So technically, Roy does the editing per se of the videos. What I do is I do stuff like search engine optimization, and I do thumbnails and titles and links and stuff like that. So if you guys ever notice, like Roy's like, check out the link down in the description, and it wasn't there, that's my fault because I missed that part. But, yeah, so we just try to work good as a team together. But.
Yep. So, all right. So, I don't know if everybody can see this. So, all I did was drill a 3/8" hole through this piece here. And then all we're going to do is fit those two together. This is a very snug fit, so we got to tap it together nice and tight. And we're going to cold fit this first. And then this whole thing's going to go in the fire, and we're going to do a hot rivet on it. That way we can form both the heads at the same time. And we're going to use this rivet set tool where I made the ball punch to make that depression there. And then I made the ball punch to make this depression here in this rivet block. This lays on the anvil, and this gets holded in the hand, and it squeezes the two together, and it makes a nice round rivet on one side, it makes a nice round rivet on the other. Now in the wolf jaw tongs, I didn't have that, and since I didn't have that tool made, it leaves a flat on one side, kind of just a mushroomed out deal, and then a factory made rivet on the other. So in this case, we're going to make it both at the same time, just like that. So, all right, let's flip that around and
alrighty.
Let's get the camera around. Nope, wrong one.
Wrong thing. Dance party. That looks like a fun effect.
All right, there's the messy shop. So
right.
Flip that back on around. Make sure you read the comments. Does everybody understand that step? How that's going to go?
All right, let me check the comments here. Let's see. We have one yes from Tommy Simpson.
Okay. So now that I'm setting these two together, getting them prepped for a hot riveting, you can see I'm making sure that they have equal spacing to both sides. That's what I'm looking to do. Anybody's got any questions on that?
Everybody so far says, yep, yes, got it.
Okay. So now the next part is we're going to cold hammer this just a little bit so it swells up and holds these two pieces where we want them in alignment. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We want to make sure these are nice and driven tight and they're not going to come apart, because if you got any gap in this, it's going to cause you problems.
Manga 12 says, does it matter on the spacing?
On the spacing out here, left to right, yes it does. If you have too little on one side and too much on the other, you'll get a really nice big bald head on this side and then just a little short head on that side. So you want equal amounts of volume of material on both sides of the joint. Like I said, then set them up cold. Any other questions?
Let's see. Jeremiah Hamlin said he's thanking me for the business videos. You're welcome.
Good.
I'm glad that you found it helpful. Ulfredita says, a clean workshop never does any work, Roy. Very true.
When did I say my workshop was clean?
No, he's saying if it was clean, that means you're not getting any work done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's just from one day. I sweep that off daily, but that's just from one day of my work, so I make a mess. So let's get this hot, and we'll go ahead and rivet it down.
Manga 12, what's your favorite food?
Let's see here. Oh, man, that's tough. My favorite food in general, I guess it's a meal. I guess it's not really a food. It's a meal. My favorite meal in general is something that my grandma Blessing made for me before she had passed away when I was a kid. She used to make it just special for me for my birthday. It was called hamburger and tomato combination. And essentially it was a simple dish. It was hamburgers with crushed tomatoes, stewed tomatoes that she would crush by hand, and then mashed potatoes, served over mashed potatoes. And don't know what it is that I like about it so much, but the way she made it, Grandma made it, you couldn't beat it. So.
Let's see. FFC Rick says, lots of whack with the yak. Doing great.
Good, I'm glad. Let my fire get out of hand here just a little bit, but other than that, doing all right.
Brian Neely, you asked if we do our own business taxes. Yes.
Right now we do, yep.
Yeah. I will do a video on it. Again, it kind of varies, especially if you're in another country. I mean, obviously, the information I could offer would only be good in the U.S. So I'll try to do a video on that in the future. Rocky Haven says the correct answer was whatever Jess cooks Roy. Whatever I cook for you is your favorite food.
Not always. I've got a story on that.
Oh, okay.
So we do canning from time to time, or we used to anyhow. We haven't any last year, but so we made our own spaghetti sauce and we made our own ketchup. There's a big difference between spaghetti sauce and ketchup. And so one night I had come home from work and she decided to make me dinner. Well, we were all out of spaghetti sauce, homemade spaghetti sauce, and she didn't want to go to the store. So she made my spaghetti with homemade ketchup. That was literally the worst meal I think I've ever ate in my entire life.
He didn't get seconds on that one.
I did not get seconds. And I probably complained more than any married man probably should to his wife about his meal or living situation. So
Mike says it's a big difference. So yes, it sounds like a big difference, but the recipe actually had stuff like onions and bell peppers and brown sugar, and it wasn't terribly different from an actual spaghetti sauce.
Listen at her explain it away.
I never get to tell my side of the story, so.
You tell your side of the story every time I tell mine.
No.
Alright, well, before I'm in the doghouse on that one, guys, I'll let that one go. After 10 years of marriage, I know when to pick my fights. Well, I think I do.
I think somebody's giving you an out. He says that rivet should be hot now.
Yeah, this rivet is almost there. I think it's looking nice in there. Jolly good. Alright, so it's nice and hot. Let's go on over. I'm going to get that all set up. Get my soft face hammer laying on the anvil. Alright. We'll pull this out. Just make sure the jaws are just good and together. We just want to take and give it a few persuasion taps here. Now you may find that you have to direct this a little bit as you go down. So it may want to go off at a bit of a tangent. That's okay. You just want to make sure that you're driving it straight. Right on down. Flip it. Can they see anything?
You'll have to hold it up close when you
All right, I'll take another heat on this just so this way I can do a little better job of it. Oh man, it's still too hot. You guys can start to see the dome a little bit. Go ahead and brush this off. Hopefully this will help. Give it a little time to cool down. All right.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
So you guys can see that. Mm-hmm. So I'll take one more heat on that and refine that quite a bit. But you guys can see how nice that makes it.
Yep.
All right.
Everybody was still talking about food, like what they had for dinner and stuff like that. Somebody said you should cook over the forge.
I wouldn't want to eat it. Now, when I worked with Tom Latinay, we had brats and hamburgers and chicken and you name it all over, grilled veggies, you name it, all over his open hearth. But the thing with his is he cooked with charcoal. So he forged with charcoal, he cooked with charcoal, so it's just like eating at a barbecue grill. What was kind of weird about it is we would work with a piece of steel in the fire, and then we'd have a piece up on a rack cooking. And so we'd be working underneath it until lunch was ready. And that was kind of neat though. Get this good and hot again. Try not to burn her off here. on live television. Questions, time to questions.
Okay, Brian Neely says, ever see Essential Craftsman forge a pizza?
No, sure haven't.
John Coffey, know of any anvils for sale locally?
Anvils for sale locally. That I don't. Mainly Craigslist is about where you can find them rarely. If it's not on Craigslist, you can check the antique barns and stuff that they got around the area. Usually people want sky-high prices for them, though.
Also, occasionally auctions. If you go to auctionzip.com and you put in our zip code and look within like a 50-mile radius, you can normally find a few.
All right, we're hot.
Okay.
Bring it over here. All right. I'm going to bring it out nice and hot again. Sorry you guys can't see this. I can't adjust it on the phone there, but we'll just go ahead and get these rivets finished off. Really nice and rounded.
Did your blades ask what kind of steel is the punch you are using to dome the rivet?
That is stainless steel. So I did a whole video on it. We'll set that off to the side. Go ahead and brush that up just a little bit so you guys can see it a little better. Normally I wouldn't worry about brushing this. I was just going to, you know, when I'm going to stick it back in the fire and do some more work on it. But here so you guys can see, hopefully. So there you go. You can see how nice of rivets that makes.
Graham says, are you riveting by one side or both?
It's riveting by both sides at the same time. The bottom die is the same as the top die when you drive them. So you can see how that looks. That just looks like a commercial job right there. Well, technically it is.
It turned out nice.
Yeah. So now the next part is we're just going to go ahead and adjust the jaws to fit tighter so they come together. And then we will free work this open. And we'll be good to go on that.
Graham said, so no flipping?
When you see me flip it, it's because the bottom, because this is laying against the anvil block, is pulling a little more heat out of the rivet from one side than what the one on the top is doing, if that makes sense. And so I'm just trying to let that heat rise back up, and so this way it creates a nice even upset. As far as the dimensionally is concerned, this is exactly identical to this one because it was made with the same ball punch. So you'll end up with the same ball either way. It's just this block here is sucking a lot more heat out, and so it doesn't form as readily as the top one does. So that's why I'm flipping it. Hope that makes sense?
Yep.
All right, we'll heat this up again. Just the jaws.
Let's see, we got a late straggler, Billy Strong. He says, forgot all about the live tonight. Do we want to give him a little recap?
Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm going for his name.
Scrolling Tom.
Jackson Graham.
Graham, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Jackson Graham.
Yep.
He won the Wolf Jaw Tongs. So that's the update on that. Talked about that there's going to be a secret word or catchphrase I'm going to put that when you guys watch this video on the replay and put it in the comment section. There's a little phrase to where you can win the pair of scrolling tongs. In fact, it'll be the other scrolling tong set right here. You'll be able to win these pair of scrolling tongs in the next live stream. We'll draw names again. So.
Let's see, Manga 12 says, will an AR 500 plate be bad to use as an anvil? That is, would it be too hard and a high risk of snapping or breaking?
I don't think I don't think you'll have a high risk of breaking an AR 500 plate. Now, the only reason why I say that is, I mean, if you're shooting the thing with a 50 caliber, you know, gun or whatever, and it can take all that impact and that kinetic energy from a bullet and not shatter, I think you could probably do that. Now, I don't know. I would assume it would be fine. I've heard some other stories of guys around the internet doing that. In an anvil, it's not, the hardness does not dictate the rebound. The hardness level does not dictate the forgeability of the things that are happening on the surface of that anvil. The hardness of an anvil helps it resist wear and tear. So if you miss a hammer blow, it doesn't indent and just have this big gooey dent in it and everything else like that. The biggest portion of an anvil is mass. Getting that mass underneath the hammer blow. I can show you a 300-pound anvil that I put hard surfacing on, and when I was hammering on it without hard surfacing rod, it had the same amount of rebound as it now does with a 1/4 inch of hard surfacing weld rod across the top of it. It has the same rebound. The 2 big mild steel blocks that I welded together were dead soft. I mean, you could practically peel them with a knife. And it doesn't matter when you have enough mass underneath it. So hardness is good for surface wear or surface resistance. That's why hard surfacing rod, they do greater buckets and things like that with it, and plates and things, soil engaging implements with hard facing rod. It's to take up that kind of abuse, abrasion type of abuse. That's where hardness helps you. Hopefully that answers in depth enough. All right, let's adjust these jaws real quick, and I'll take some more questions while I hammer away.
Okay. Thomas Urso said, do you prefer coal or propane?
Let's see here. I'm a fan of coal, but I prefer neither. I don't really have a preference. It's just whatever the job requires at the time. So we're going to get these shaped down, these scrolling tongs down where they're supposed to be.
Graham asks, how hard are plow discs?
Plow discs aren't very, well, they're pretty brittle. Plow discs are, I'm thinking of the same discs you're talking about. If it's like discs for disking fields, breaking up clods and stuff, those are pretty hard. But they're also a tough steel. So now while this is still hot, guys, we're going to just work that rivet area a little bit, just like you would any regular tong, as it cools down. Since I'm not going to be hammering on this anymore, now that I got that adjusted where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and brush it too. Get any extra surface scale off of it. Just like so.
Jackson Graham asked, what kind of coal do you use?
Let's see here. The coal I use is bimutamus coal. It's Pocahontas coal from the Pocahontas vein. And it's what the club gets. My blacksmithing club up in Troy, Ohio gets.
Rocky also asked, what's a good price for coal?
Good price for coal. If you can get it for right around $2.50 a ton, that seems to be the going rate of most coal suppliers for a ton of coal. If you can get it for less than that, that's even a better yet. All right, put my touch mark in it. There we have it. Those are done.
All right, not even an hour in.
Woohoo! I went faster this time, guys.
You did. You're speedy.
I am speedy. So these I would normally just dunk in the oil at the same, like I did before. You can adjust these tines however you like them. I like them to come down and pretty much pinch in parallel if they can. Sometimes it's nice if there's a little bit of gap, a little extra gap in them. If you need to adjust them, you can turn it on corners like that. But yeah, those are pretty much set up. Just like that. And the boss area looks a lot better than the hand-hammered boss areas. You look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So there we have it. Any questions?
Let's see. There's still some comments on coal.
Okay.
Fennerfen says that's a good price. Coal is now about 400 euros per ton in the UK, which is over $500.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
Graham asked, are you still making the Tong clip this live?
Nope. I decided to do the tongs instead for this live one. I decided to do that instead of the Tong clip.
We do have a video on it though, Graham. If you're needing to see one right away, just do a YouTube search, Christ-Centered Ironworks Tong clip, and our video will come up.
Yeah. And one of the other videos I'll be releasing this week is making a pair of these blacksmith dividers. So this way you can take measurements. Made a video on making these this week too, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that this weekend. These will be coming out. Giving you all sorts of shameless plugs for my next video.
Let's see here.
All right.
Block brush, Jeremiah Tamlin. Been looking for a good place to buy a good block brush like yours.
Let's see here.
We did do a video on it, and we have a link in the description.
Yeah.
To brush or not to brush, I believe is the name of that video. Does that sound right?
Yep, I think that's right. So I did a video on whether you should brush steel or not brush steel, and you can check out that video. I got a link there in the description. If we think about it, we might put it in the description of this video on the playback for anybody who wants to know how to get a hang on one of these block brushes. Okay. So let's flip it around here.
Okay.
This is why I can read comments.
Okay.
I'm feeling lonely.
All right, sorry. Everybody says free coal is best.
All right. Right on around we go. Everybody can see us there. Sorry about the too bright lights. No, maybe that'll help if we shut these off.
Yeah, kind of.
Now it just washes out her face.
Yeah.
Never mind. We're turning them back on. There we go. All right. Huh, that's cool. Steam locomotive. Birdman Bill there. I didn't get back to you just yet on your comment from earlier. I did make a response video just specifically to answer that question. The reason why not to make a rivet to begin with, to start with, is it's an extra step that's not needed. You can make a rivet, but with as cheap as rivets are manufactured, it's really not advantageous. And usually the way riveting is made, if you've ever watched any videos online, there's a machine, it clamps a rod, it heads the rivet, and it cuts it off and it drops it down into a bin. And so those two halves come together to actually clamp the shaft. The problem with making a rivet where you have just a hole drilled into a bar is if you don't get the exact material right on that and you shove it down into that hole, it will stick 9 times out of 10. And I seen a video where Alex Steele did it. Apparently he's got the trick or something to it. Because I've tried it 3 times now, and every last bloom rivet that I've made stuck in the die, couldn't get it out. And I wasted a lot of time in that way. So that's why I don't do it. It's just an extra step. If you're going to be forging the tongs and you're going to be hot fitting the the boss areas and the jaws themselves, it's not worth the extra time. So he lost his die on a live stream. That's funny. See here, drafting code. 2D or 3D plans? I think they're just 2D plans.
Once you've had me before,
yeah.
it's been 3D.
Were they 3D? Okay. Yeah. Well, the plans before were 3D. Yeah, Alex Steele, he did a video where he did a riveting thing where he makes his own rivet, and it's just a hole drilled into a piece of mild steel, a large piece of mild steel. I can never get that to work. It doesn't work out. You know, it swells inside the hole. It sticks real bad. So I think there's a certain timing you have to get to it in order to get it out. And so I usually don't do that method myself. Now he uses open-ended one. Yep, that's probably a good way of doing it. See here. Okay, Dan. Might have to give that a shot. So, if anybody didn't read that, it said use a mixture of beeswax and powdered graphite to keep the rivet from sticking in the monkey tool. Hey, you're welcome, David L. Yeah, and I'm sure it will work out pretty well for anybody that wants to go that way if you can figure that out. But like I said, I think it's an added step that's not really needed. If I need that many rivets where I've got to produce my own rivet pre-hand, I'm just going to buy a factory-made one. They're dirt cheap, and a machine can make them in 1/8 of a second, where, you know, it's going to take me 5-10 minutes to make a rivet, so it's not really economical in that way. Let's see here. Thomas Urso, I do not sell tongs right now currently. I can't make them cheap enough where anybody would want to afford them. My shop rate currently is $95 an hour, and so if I sold a pair of tongs, it takes me roughly about 45 minutes to an hour to make a pair of tongs. No one's going to want to take and spend the 95 bucks that it's going to take to pay me for the tongs plus the shipping. So that's why I don't sell tongs or tooling. If I had a little larger shop with bigger machinery that I could make the tongs quicker, I could get maybe 3 of them out, I could see that being a benefit to the blacksmithing community. Let's see here. What's the biggest piece you can forge at a time? The largest piece I've forged on so far has been a 2.5-inch square piece of steel, making a hammer. You're welcome, Thomas. See here. You're welcome, Tommy Simpson. Appreciate that. You're welcome, John Colley. I like to take and give people, I like to give back as much as I can to the blacksmithing community. I've had a lot of guys come alongside me and teach me the skills that I know right now. And so, you know, I just try to pass that along to as many guys as I can. Tongs normally go from anywhere from $20 all the way up to about $65 a pair. That's what they normally go for there. Corey Shire. You're welcome, Lynn. I appreciate you. Jessica's talking to the kids right now there, Chris Spalding. She has done a little bit of blacksmithing in the back in the past, but now she does, you know, she does mostly the behind-the-scenes work. Hey, you're welcome, John McCann. Thank you for being here. A smoke shelf. Yes, my forge does have a smoke shelf in it. Man, in Sweden they sell them for $120. Good Lord. That's not where it'd be good to be in Sweden unless your pay rate was high enough to afford those boogers. I would definitely make them then. 95 bucks, that would be a steal. I don't know, after shipping to Sweden, it probably wouldn't be a steal. God bless you, Bill Williams. Thank you. Yeah, that's right, Corey Schreier. She's the boss and I'm the minion. Why, thank you, Chris Spalding. I do believe we make a great team. So she definitely makes me look better on camera. Ain't that right?
Yep.
She's conceited just a little bit. John Coffey, I don't know of any anvils for sale in the area. Yeah, getting cold yet in Ohio. Yeah, it's been getting pretty brisk in the mornings. Amen, Lynn. What beginner project do you recommend? Hooks. Start with S-hooks. They're a good fundamental challenge for beginners to work on. I've got a whole beginner blacksmithing kind of series, and most of my stuff is catered around guys who have to do things by hand at the hammer and the anvil. If you notice, I don't use my power hammer a whole lot or press in my videos because I know a lot of guys don't have those. So I try not to pick projects that are press or power hammer centric. So this way everybody can feel like they can do exactly what I'm doing. And almost all of my business videos where I show you guys, like the one that's coming up after this live stream is over, of making that cross, all of those are meant to be able to be done by hand with one guy with a simple anvil and a hammer. So this way you guys can kind of start paying for being able to pay for your own setups and getting better and better and better. So, but thank you, Boiler Room Radio. God bless you too. See your plus shipping. So messed up on some tongs yesterday. Yeah, tongs can be a learning curve. Oh yeah, that would be interesting. A difficulty rating of videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be real interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one, Mark S. Appreciate that. I'm glad you like those, Corey. These videos. We like doing them. Mm-hmm. They are a lot of fun. So.
Collaboration builds.
Yeah, I hope to at some point.
Kind of got one going on, kind of with Paul's Garage. It's informal.
Yeah, it's kind of informal with Paul's Garage. If you check out his channel, he might be making a forge here sometime soon with a burner that I sent him. So, hopefully he'll do that and he'll have some fun forging. Let's see here. But other than that, I don't have any scheduled right now as far as collaboration type builds and things. Mainly because we've just been super slammed busy trying to get out content, and life is happening right now. It's like crazy, so. Biggest stock is reasonable for a beginner to forge alone without a power hammer. I wouldn't do any larger than 1-inch material. If you're forging by yourself, if you start getting into larger than 1-inch material, you're going to start feeling like you need a bigger hammer, and it just spirals out of control from there, and you're going to wear out your shoulder and your arms and elbows, and it's never any good from there. Now that's my own personal opinion. If you're doing things like hammers, obviously you're going to have to get something larger than 1-inch material, but you're usually not doing a lot of heavy reshaping of that material. So I'm talking about heavy reshaping of material. You're going to want to take and use 1-inch at max, and that's enough to wear you out. Let's see here. Jackson Graham. I might do a video on my press at some point.
Here's one. What was the first thing you hammered out?
What's the first thing you hammered out? Sorry, guys, we're a little bit behind on comments. Let's see here. First thing I ever hammered out was a coat hanger. I beat the ever-living tar out of it, and I forged that out of my fireplace in my living room, beating on a Harbor Freight anvil right on the wood floor. Yeah. Yeah, Jessica kicked me out of the house after that.
You got back in.
Yeah.
Ever made hammers?
Billy Strong, that's a good one. Yeah, you all will have power hammers after I finish the power hammer build. Well, that's encouraging to know. So, yes, I've made plenty of hammers.
Eventually we'll have a video on one.
Catching up on orders. I don't think I'm ever going to catch up on orders, not unless I hire a guy at some point. And that'll be with a bigger shop someday, hopefully. See here. 10" by 10" by 3.5" deep, a good fire pot size. Yeah, that's plenty big. Apparently I missed one about, was it favorite Bible verse or something?
Yes.
I missed a comment.
Yeah, favorite scripture.
Oh. Well, I don't really quote scripture. I'm not good at memorization of scripture. Never been it like that. But I would probably say one of my favorite stories from the Bible, if you'll indulge me for a moment, is the woman that was caught in adultery, and that's one of my favorite stories where Jesus talked about her accusers and things, and everybody was coming down on her hard about her life, and of course I'm paraphrasing like crazy right now, but so everybody was coming down real hard on her life, and about to stone the girl, and they wanted Jesus to do something about it. He didn't do anything about it, and then pretty much told them, "You without sin, go ahead and throw that first stone." And the last part is the clincher for me, is when he says, "Woman, where's your accusers?" And she says, "They have all gone." He said, "Neither do I accuse you. Go and sin no more." And that just gives me hope that there might be a chance for me to be a street sweeper in heaven. So that's my favorite verse. Whichever one that one is. Sorry guys, I'm trying to catch up with your comments there. Let's see here. Oh, that's awesome if you got to go there. That's cool. I've heard it's a pretty neat event there, Mike and Sarah. Yeah. Different historians see that different, whether he wrote their sins in the dirt or not. He might have just been ignoring them and drawing smiley faces in the dirt. I don't know. But I like the terminology used. Hey, that's awesome. You're in PA for the night. Well, definitely enjoy it. PA is a pretty place.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. But they didn't have the man. That's the problem. Both were supposed to. Yeah, that is the problem, isn't it? Scripture lesson. That's funny. Iron sharpens iron. So, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to get off here before long. I think I gotta wish me luck and pray for me. For those of you that pray about my wisdom teeth, I'm having all 4 of them removed tomorrow at 8:45 in the morning. So, not looking forward to that at all. But real quick, just wanted to take and remind everybody about the tongs, and I'm supposed to take and give you all the secret word that you're supposed to use on the playback. So say, "I like scrolls," or "I love scrolls."
There you go.
That's what you want once this video is published, and you can watch it on the playback video. You'll get that little notification. Go ahead and said, "I like scrolls" in the comment section there, and then you guys will get a chance to win these on our next live stream. It will be next Friday at our usual time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be.
Yep, it'll be next Friday at our usual time.
Although we may start doing it at 7. That way we can get the kids into bed at a regular time.
Yep. We'll do it next Friday at 7. So we'll start doing them at 7 p.m. That way everybody can hopefully get there. Thank you all for your prayers already. God bless you all for that. That makes me feel a lot better. I'm definitely going to try to zonk out tonight, not worry about it, and put it in God's hands, and we'll see how it goes. So, yeah. Make sure you say, I like scrolls or I love scrolls in the replay of this video. That means when this video ends, come back to the chat section and put that in there. That way it gets entered. Because on the live chat, it doesn't save your guys' messages from the live chat. Right. So you have to come back and reply again, so this way we know who all wanted to take and be a part of that giveaway. Oh, and right now I think I'm going to do that on every live stream so far. So whatever I make in the live stream, I'm going to give away to one lucky guy. And so next week's live stream, stay here for a moment. Let me finish up with it. Oh, I don't even have it out here, do I? You didn't bring them out.
No, I didn't. I left them in on the word table.
Okay.
Just leave it a surprise.
Should I leave it a surprise?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, there's going to be a video. They're going to see the video of it before it happens. So
they wouldn't know which one.
So next live stream, we're going to take this blank. Same process. This is all using 1/4 inch or 6 mil by 25 mil or 1/4 by 1 flat stock. All 8 inches long. I've made all these different types of tongs. Next week's live stream, I was asked if I could make a pair of knife making tongs or bladesmithing tongs. So I'm not a bladesmith, but I've seen them made before, and so we're going to be making those on the next live stream, and then we'll be giving them away the following. So after that. Yeah, oh wait, what? Yeah, that'll be what we'll be making in the next live stream. We will be making a pair of knife-making tongs, and
the unmentionable for Roy.
Yeah, I love knife-making tongs. Yeah, it'll be scrolling tongs in the comments after this. So make sure to come back and comment after the video's finished, and say I like scrolling tongs. And we'll keep doing something like that into the future, and hopefully get everybody outfitted with some tongs as we go along. So, yep, that's it. So, thank you, ladies and gents out there. God bless you all. Thank you all so much for the kind encouragement. And then, yeah, we're going to catch up with you all next time. And, yeah, I do have videos all throughout the weekend, so you won't be without that. But I'm going to be taking painkillers and not being in the loop, so don't expect a whole lot of replies from me over the weekend. So, and that'll be it. So, all right, everybody. Oh, one last question somebody had was, besides bending and scrolling tongs, they're good for just anywhere that you need to get in and grip and manipulate something that you can't get a regular pair of tong nibs at. So, all right. Good night, all. Don't give me too much heck about the knife-making tongs. Trust me, I'm not a knife maker, not going to be either. So, but anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was fun having you all here. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
Good night.
God bless everybody. Good night.